Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Political Brown Kid here. And I've been talking for a while, and it's not that I'm trying to come down. Once again, I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to come down on the women in our community, but I'm just trying to bring awareness to just, in my personal opinion, is a growing concern in regards to young women or women, period, taking on more manly qualities. I hate using that masculine, feminine term, so I try to steer clear from that. So if y'all see me talking and trying to gather my thoughts, it's because I'm trying not to use these cliche words. But I have a few videos here that I want to play. And it just goes to show you that how more and more women are just becoming and acting more like guys, and not in a good way. There's a lot of qualities about things that we do as men in our behavior, or things that are typically associated with us, that just aren't good things to do. And women kind of used to be the moral compass of society. At least the more calmer, um, less aggressive individuals, but now they're just doing stuff that gangsters would do. And so to me, it's very concerning. So let me play these three videos. So here's the first one. So just take a look.
Kenyatta Hayes is dressed in orange as she appears in front of Judge Ronald Lou Casey. According to the police affidavit, this started Monday. Memphis police responded to a shooting near Cherokee Park where they found a man dead. Investigators released this video to the media, asking for public tips to identify this woman who was running away from the scene. According to court records, Kenyatta Hayes told police she met the victim at a Marathon gas station and agreed to be with him for $60. However, according to Hayes, she never planned on keeping her end of the bargain. Instead, she was going to hit a lick, a common term for robbery. When asked why she killed the victim, she told police she was thirsty for money. According to the affidavit, she used the $60 to get 2 hot wing combos for her and her boyfriend and had $13 left.
So here in this video, as you can see, this is a young teenage girl, a young lady, charged with taking someone's life over $60 because she was hungry for money. And I'll say this, and this is why I tell you, I made a video before, fellas, about you guys participating, about men that participated in the lifestyle where they pay women in exchange for, they pay professional, quote unquote, professional women that operate in those services for intimate encounters. They call them escorts. I'm trying not to use these words online. It's not worth it. And this guy tried to participate in paying a woman he does not know to meet him someplace for $60 to perform something on him. I'm assuming if her words are correct. So I'm just assuming that her version of the story is correct. And then she basically just robbed him and then escalated into taking his life. And so now this young woman has turned a robbery, a $60 robbery, which would have probably been a misdemeanor, not unless she used a weapon, but she turned that into now where she's basically going to spend the rest of her life behind bars. And, these women have guns, they're toting guns, and she did all of this to buy 2 combo chicken dinners. 2 combo chicken dinners for her and her boyfriend. This is unfortunate, but where we've hit in society. Now, let's take a look at this second one right here. So let's just take a look at this.
Yeah, I can't park right here.
A violent response captured on video, now widely shared on social media. Another angle shows the beginning of that interaction.
I have nightmares.
The victim, who asked to remain anonymous out of fear, tells ABC 13 it was even scarier than this.
So it was 5 bullets. So it was not 2. It was 5.
It was last Tuesday along the North Belt Feeder Road near Humble when this single mom was rear-ended.
She was coming too fast, so whenever she tried to brake, it was
It was too late already.
She says she called her mother and sister-in-law, who came to the scene and then called 911. As she waited, her relatives went to check on the driver, who she says caused the crash. They were met with gunfire.
I heard 3 pows. It was 3. And then that's when I saw my mom running towards me and my sister-in-law running to her car.
That was before she pointed at a passing vehicle and fired into the air. At her car, she says she pointed the gun at her and left. Micaiah Mitchell was the suspect. They say she was arrested just down the street. The 21-year-old now charged with aggravated assault and unlawfully carrying a weapon.
My question is, why would they do that? Like, you need to be a normal person.
The mom of 2 young children, traumatized but grateful no one was hurt.
Once a bullet go up, comes down. Imagine it would have hit somebody. Imagine she would have killed me. My babies wouldn't have no mom.
So in the second video, as you can see from what was stated, this young, and of course we all know this is well, I'm not going to say we all know, but my assumption is this is a woman that acts like a dude. She's basically a part of the Rainbow Coalition, the Rainbow, fraternity. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just putting in awareness that she's probably going to act a little more dudeish because, she has that thought, well, I like girls. And maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's a heterosexual female, but she just looks a little dudeish to me. Especially, that's a dude move when you wear the flip-flops with the socks and the shorts. She just looks dudeish. But here you are discharging a firearm into the air. And that Hispanic, she sounds like a Hispanic lady, or I assume that that's a Hispanic lady that they're blocking out, that they're blurring her picture, protecting her identity. But the lady is absolutely correct. When you fire a weapon into the air, those bullets come down. Those bullets hit somebody. Do you know how many people actually get harmed, if not worse? Their lives get taken during New Year's when those bullets start falling down from out the sky. People have gotten injured from those type of things. And here this woman is firing off a weapon over something trivial. You're making yourself look bad. You're just standing out there. And the other people just standing out in the streets. And I don't know if the other scene when they show the girl standing there, if that was after the shots or before, but everybody just seems pretty calm standing with her like this is a normal thing. This woman pulls out a firearm and discharges it into the air. And once again, it's our people doing this. We even have his Latinos looking down on us. And no disrespect to Latinos. I'm not trying to put y'all down, but it just goes to show you, everybody's just looking. We project a bad image to everyone, and now it's the women projecting these behaviors. So you can't say you're just afraid of black males because the black females are doing the same thing. So let's go into this third video. Let's take a look at this one.
I really thought I was going to die.
Catherine Givens was asked to make a quick stop at a basketball court so the passenger could pick up her 12-year-old son. Once there, the rider rolled down the window, pulled out a gun, and started firing shots.
Obviously, all the kids started running. Parents came flooding out of the apartments.
Givens recalls one parent saying they called 911, and the passenger, identified by police as Kiera Garrett, yelling back that she'd shoot them.
That's when she realized that the police were already in the apartment complex, and she turned her gun on me and said, if you don't leave, I'm going to kill you.
So Givens spent the 25-minute drive to Garrett's destination with a gun pressed to her stomach.
It's very scary. Her kids were in the back seat. She was beating on her son in the back seat as well.
After dropping Garrett and her children off at their home across town, she pulled into a nearby parking lot to call 911.
So in here, you have a woman. And first, let me say this too. That's why I keep telling people, I do not encourage anyone. I'm going to be honest with you. I frown when I hear people say that they work for Uber and Lyft. I honestly do. Because to me, it's not that much money in the world to make me want to pick up a stranger in my vehicle. She literally what's that movie Collateral? Have y'all ever seen the movie Collateral with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise? This lady literally was Collateral. She was Jamie Foxx, the white lady. And the black lady was playing Tom Cruise. You pick somebody up and you don't know where they're taking you to, what their intentions are. You don't have a dispatch. Like, unlike with a taxi has a dispatch. Some of those taxis even have the plexiglass, that protects the front from the back. Even though I would say the plexiglass means nothing if those seats don't have like bulletproof, you know, a barrier between the back seat and the front seat. And that's something that people, if I was a taxi driver, I would want to invest in if you can possibly do that, because the other stuff means nothing. But you're literally riding someone around in a car. This woman gets into a car. She's beating on her children. As this woman, if we're going to take this woman's version, her version of the occurrence as being truthful and factual, this woman picks her kids up from the park, or has this lady drive her to the park to pick her kids up. She discharges a firearm at children, then beats on her kids while the Uber driver is driving her away from the scene, and then points a weapon at her stomach until she gets out of there. And she's doing all of this in the presence of her children. And then wonder how children grow up with no moral compass. When you see children do what you do. And that's one thing that I want to get people to understand. You can't say, do as I say, not as I do. That doesn't fly. You can tell people all day long, go to school, get an education, do this, be on time. You can tell people that all day long, but if you don't live by your own principles, your children follow what you do. They see the type of person that you are. People think that children are just stupid. Children, when they are 2-3 years old, they process things very, very well. Prime example: if you let a black parent walk in with a little white baby or a little Asian baby and say, "This is my child," or the child says, "This is my parent," those other kids are gonna be like, "No, it's not. That ain't your mama." Because a kid understands. Kids are not dumb. They may not grasp the concept of adoptions and all this other type of stuff, but kids are not stupid. They know at the very minimum that's not your biological parent. So what makes you think that a kid watching you discharge a firearm at a basketball court that they were just playing at, if those kids were there, well, obviously they had to be there because she picked the kids up, and then you discharge a weapon, then you point a weapon at the driver until the driver gets you out of there, and you're beating your kids in the car. And when these kids grow up, they're going to grow up and do what they were taught. Well, my mama used to bust guns out in the street, no problem. So imagine what the other thing this parent is doing at the household. But I'm just going to say this, because the video has already covered it, and you all are very smart, and I know you all can already made your own analysis from these videos. But my whole point is this: I really would like women, don't think that because men are out working and earning money that is a glorious lifestyle. Or women, even if you're earning money and working, there's nothing wrong with that too. But don't just look and think that these newfound liberties and freedoms and you can express yourself and not be judged for anything. Don't think that gives you carte blanche to just act a fool in these streets. There's a downside, a spiraling side to our society. And one thing I will say too is that also, people, I had a debate with a friend of mine, and he's talking about, everybody should have the right to own weapons. I kind of agree with that, and I kind of don't. I mean, my thing and my personal opinion is, if I know somebody else has something, I want the same thing that they have, if not more, because I want to be able to defend myself. Personally, I really, weapons, I really don't like them, but hey, if they're a necessity in society, I have to have one. But I don't think that, everybody toting, like you see all these open carry states. Like this woman was in Texas. And I guarantee you, Harris County, I do believe that's Houston or in the Houston area. I keep telling y'all, all black people, boy, if you tell me a black person is cutting up, and if you give me the state, I can pretty much give you the city. If you told me some black people cutting up in Tennessee, I'm going to automatically say Memphis. If you tell me they cutting up down in Texas, I'm going to automatically assume it's Houston. And we can go on, I can take that all the way across the map. All the way across the map. If you say they're catching up in Minnesota, it's Minneapolis. And I didn't even think black people were in Minnesota that hard. I didn't even think we were in Wisconsin that hard. But we go everywhere that there's a major sports team, a major football stadium, and a basketball arena. If they got those two things, black people are there. I don't know what it is, but everywhere we go, the STD rates go up, the death rates go up, the violent death rates go up, violent robberies go up, the gunplay goes up, and you think that I want to sign up and say that every state should be open carry? No, because I'm telling you, we are still in a way dysfunctional because of our past and our failures to correct certain behaviors from our lineage. And that's just the case. And getting back on topic here, just as far as for the women, it's not good to try to emulate, certain society, certain behaviors, particularly men behaviors, because it doesn't work on women. It doesn't look good on women. And it just also leads to these results where now you're going to have kids in the system because now you're not around. And now you're in the system. And now, your life is gone and you probably set your kids back in life. Maybe they did the kids a favor, I don't know, by going to, a different home, but it just doesn't look good. We have a lack of nuclear families running around in our community already. We don't need now the mother taken away. We don't know if the father's in these kids' lives because these women probably made, whatever choices that they made and picked negligible fathers. Possibly. I don't understand it, but it's like with our culture, we're allowing the toxic black culture to override the respectable black culture that we used to have, and we need to get back to that. We need to have, and this goes back to when I talk about the media, when I talk about we need to have more shows like The Cosby Show and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Then you have all of this Power, book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know what book they're on. I don't watch it. BMF, who wants to see? I don't care anything about BMF. I really don't. And it's good for entertainment. And I'm not, there are a lot of black people who can take this. But, obviously there are some black people that we're just toxic. We grasp onto certain stuff. You watch Tubi. If you log on to Tubi, it just goes to show you what our mentality is. When you log on to Tubi, when you see independent black movies that are created, if it's created if it's starring or featuring black women, if it's written by a black woman, it's about a stripper getting her life together, or an escort getting her life together, or she's in drama, or she's trying to commit a robbery. I don't make this up. And if it's written by a black dude, it's about him selling narcotics, about him, being in the narcotics trade. It's a bunch of gunplay in both movies. I don't make this stuff up. And we need to move away from this and move towards other stuff to recalibrate our mindset, because these women are getting just as dangerous as the men, if not more dangerous. And they're being bold about it. They're using weapons. I tell you right now, because like I said, I'm in the DC area, and you can see I'm actually in DC for the most part, just to be more specific. Y'all don't know where I live at in DC, but I'm in DC proper. And the one thing I can tell you is you'll see all the time young women carjacking. And I'm talking about, when I say young women, I mean 14, 13 that are carjacking and taking people's lives because they want somebody to drive around in someone's vehicle. I'm not making this stuff up. So I rambled on long enough. I just wanted to make this video and put this awareness out there because I just saw these three news articles. So I had to go to the computer and actually verify it and then, just put it out there for consumption. But once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. Be safe out here in these streets. And just also, if you know people that need guidance, well, I would even try to intervene, but doing that might get you harmed. So I don't even know what to tell you. Just use your discretion. But just be safe out here in the streets and be aware. And also, too, please don't drive for Uber. Please don't drive for Lyft. Stop these door dashing to people's house. If you're going to door dash, do it during the day. Don't drop off. As soon as the sun go down, don't drop off anything because people act a fool when the sun goes down once it gets dark. So once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out of here.